So welcome back guys to We Talk Boxing. So today I'm going to be giving you guys my pre-fight breakdown between the up and coming fight which is taking place on May the 20th between Devin Haney versus Vasyl Lomachenko. Now currently this fight is going to be shown live on Sky Sports, which is going to be shown here in the UK in the early hours of the morning. Now before I continue guys, as always, please like, subscribe and comment and share for more boxing related content and help us grow this channel even further. So this fight will see both boxers go into this fight with excellent boxing records, such as the challenger Vasyl Lomachenko is currently 17 wins with 11 KOs to his name, and he's got 2 losses on his record as well. Obviously, both of those losses, his first one came back in 2014 to an Orlando Salido, which was a 12th round split decision loss. And then obviously his most recent loss obviously on his record as well, which came in 2020, obviously during the pandemic, etc., which was against Teofimo Lopez as well, which again was a 12 round decision, a unanimous decision to Teofimo Lopez as well. So he's got those 2 defeats on his record currently, and obviously he's going into this undisputed title fight against the champion, Devin Haney, whose boxing record currently stands at 29 wins with 15 KOs to his name, with no losses or draws as well. So again, he's got an impeccable boxing record. The young man is, the world's his oyster in my eyes. But this is one of them fights where, it's the legend versus the youngster, the young pup. But to me, it's one of these fights which could be the contender and the best fight that we see this year. There is a few other fights which have been called, which obviously I will do videos regarding them ones as well. But this fight is one that I'm really excited for as well. So hopefully, let's see that it could live up to the hype that it's gonna generate as well. Now, according to BoxRec, it has, the challenger Vasyl Lomachenko down as the best Ukrainian boxer at his weight. And he's currently got him ranked, as number 5th best, lightweight, obviously boxer as well currently. This is obviously of April 2023. Whereas Boxing Live, again, their rankings are slightly different to BoxRec's, it has Vasyl Lomachenko down in the Ring magazine ratings as the number 1, in the Ring magazine. It's got him down in the WBO as number 1, obviously as the IBF as number 3, as well as the WBC number 1 and number 4 with the WBA. Devin Haney obviously is the undisputed champion at that weight, so he holds all the belts. So he's the main man in the division currently. He obviously did defeat. He obviously defeated Kambosos Jr. Twice. To obviously the first time round, capture all the titles, and the second time round, obviously defend his titles as well. So again, yes, he is the main man in the division. Obviously, the one that everyone is going to be hopefully looking forward to trying to beat as well. Now, this is an excellent division in my eyes, and it's got some, formidable opponents in this division as well for the winner. Obviously, it's got people like Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia. You've got Cruz, Martin as well. Some, some good young British pups in there as well, which hopefully may get a shot at some point. You never know, really, such as Maxi Hughes and obviously Reece Mulder and that as well. People that are up and coming, really, in the British game. So let's see if any of these guys can maybe try and challenge for some of these big boys at some point. But I do believe that within the next 2 to 3 years, a lot of these lightweights will move up, move up into the next division. Obviously, you're looking at potentially super lightweight, and again, some of them are probably even big enough as well to potentially even go into that welterweight division as well. So yeah, keep your eyes tuned on that as well. So we get to that point. The physical stats between both guys, it sees obviously Vasyl Lomachenko in this fight as the older man. Obviously, currently according to BoxRec at 35, compared to obviously Devin Haney, who's 24 years old as well. There is a slight height difference, and the advantage goes, according to BoxRec, to Devin Haney being 5'8", whereas obviously Vasyl Lomachenko is 5'7" as well. And again, due to the height difference as well, there's a reach advantage, according to BoxRec, of 71 inches for Devin Haney compared to 65 for Vasyl Lomachenko as well. Now, in regards to the bouts that both guys have had, to date, Devin Haney has had more professional bouts. He's had 29 bouts in total. Do you know what I mean? Compared to obviously Vasyl Lomachenko's 19 bouts, which obviously means that Devin Haney, has just slightly had more rounds as well. And the boxing KO percentages as well, fairly even, near enough, according to BoxRec, between both guys. It's got Devin Haney down as, just under 52%, whilst obviously Vasyl Lomachenko at 50, just under 58% as well. So again, fairly similar. Do you know what I mean? As the KO percentage for both guys as well. But yeah, slightly interested on that fact. But both guys also started their career near enough around the same time. Vasyl Lomachenko back in 2014, whilst obviously Devin Haney started his in 2015 as well. So fairly similar stats between both guys. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, Devin Haney is an orthodox fighter, whereas Vasyl Lomachenko is a southpaw. But both guys, can switch stance at times, and Vasyl Lomachenko's probably known more for that as well. Which is, brilliant really for both guys. Devin Haney's had majority of his fights within the US, and so has Vasyl Lomachenko as well. Obviously, Vasyl Lomachenko is Ukrainian, but he resides in America. So again, he lives there and stuff, and that's where he trains, etc. So it makes sense why he's had most of his fights in on American soil as well. Whereas Devin Haney, majority of his fights, not majority, he's had, he has fought outside of America, technically America. He's had a lot of his fights in America, but he has fought, in Mexico as well, which is pretty much down the road for him. And he's had his last two bouts as well, which was against George Kambosos Jr. Last year, both in America, Australia. So he has travelled, he has gone, some distance, and challenged, again, at the time, the Undisputed champion as well in Kambosos Jr. Now, when looking at both of the opposition, which both guys have faced to date, it's been of excellent quality from both guys, to be fair, and both of them have been in there with some big names between them. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to ring off a few of the names, such as obviously Orlando Salido. You've got obviously Gary Russell Jr. as well, Nicholas Walters, Gimme, I can't pronounce his name, Rigondo. Obviously Jorge Linares. Both guys have fought. Anthony Crolla, Jose Pedraza. Nearly butchered that name. Luke Campbell, Teofimo Lopez, Richard Comey, Jermaine Ortiz, do you know what I mean? And obviously George Kambosos Jr., Joseph Diaz, Gamboa as well, do you know what I mean? So both guys between them, have shared the ring with some big names. Now, when looking, on their records to see, a common opponent, one name pretty much, stands out in my eyes. Do you know what I mean? Both of these guys have fought Jorge Linares. Do you know what I mean? They've obviously fought him at different times in their career, and obviously within a couple of years apart as well. But most boxing fans know who Jorge Linares is. You know what I mean? He's a very durable, very skilled boxer. Do you know what I mean? And and on his day, could give anyone a tough fight. Do you know what I mean? But Lomachenko was the first to fight Jorge Linares. Do you know what I mean? He fought him back in 2018. And Lomachenko beat him, with a 10th round TKO. But up until, do you know what I mean? Up until that stoppage, pretty much, the fight was fairly close. Do you know what I mean? On the scorecards, do you know what I mean? The referees Some gave it a draw, some gave it towards one gave it towards what's his name, Lomachenko. One gave it towards Jorge Linares. So up until that stoppage, it was fairly close. Do you know what I mean? And this was obviously back in 2018, where at the time, do you know what I mean? Well, at the time, obviously, Jorge Linares, you know what I mean, only had 3 defeats on his record. And obviously, after he fought Lomachenko, do you know what I mean, he then lost 4 of his last 7 fights. Do you know what I mean? So this was pretty much the downfall, really, you know what I mean, of Jorge Linares is pretty much his boxing career. He suffered that loss, obviously, to Lomachenko and just wasn't the same in my eyes. But yeah, that's the common opponent between obviously Lomachenko and Devin Haney. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, both guys have fought Linares, and that was what obviously Lomachenko did to him. Whereas Devin Haney, when Devin Haney fought, um, what's his name, Jorge Linares, it was a 12-round unanimous decision win for Devin Haney, but it was a comprehensive win. You know what I mean? All the judges favoured obviously Devin Haney, so yeah, it's quite comfortable really. But yeah, both guys have been in there with some big name fighters. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's gonna be an excited fight. Now, lastly, you know what I mean? This video is a lot longer than what I actually wanted it to be. Um, you know what I mean? I've seen a lot of footage from both guys, you know what I mean, prior to this fight, which is happening obviously this Saturday. Both guys look fit, they look confident, they look motivated. Do you know what I mean? Which is very important, you know what I mean, in a big caliber fight like this. Um, and it's going to be an interesting fight. It's going to be a clash of styles, and it's going to come down to who wants it more. Do you know what I mean? And who can showcase their skills a little bit better than the other man. I'm not going to give a prediction in regards to this fight because, you know what I mean, it's so closely matched in my eyes that it can kind of swing either way. I do feel though the first 4 rounds is going to be, I mean, very. That's going to be the telling point really in my eyes because whoever comes out dominates those first 4 rounds. Do you know what I mean? Will go on to potentially win it. Don't be wrong. Do you know what I mean? Any man could get stopped at any point at any time because this is boxing. But I firmly believe that the first 4 rounds are very crucial in this fight. And as I said, whoever's dominating that will, in my eyes, go on to potentially win it. And I just feel that the other man would probably just struggle a little bit too much to kind of claw back some of those rounds. Do you know what I mean? But you guys can let me know your thoughts. Do you know what I mean? In the comments below. Who do you think's going to win this fight? And how? By what method? Do you know what I mean? A stoppage, KO, points. Let me know, guys, in the comments below. And as always, please subscribe and like and comment for more boxing related content. Bless.